If Omos and MVP have the best fashion sense in WWE, and I think they do, who has the worst fashion sense? What up, everyone? Shakiel Mahjouri here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. He is the former Raw Tag Team Champion meeting Seth freaking Rollins at Backlash on May 6th. He is as tall as my feelings are fragile, the Nigerian giant Omos. How's it going, my man?
It's going well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Fragile feelings aside, it's a rare, not rainy day in Vancouver, Canada, so I'm feeling good, and I'm so glad to talk to you, man.
It's an honor for you to be in my presence.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Shockingly, still looks immeasurably tall, even on a 2D monitor, so that blows my mind. Before we get to Backlash and your amazing career, I want to start here. You've established, I'm not sure how aware you are, a very passionate fan base online that has branded themselves the Omosapiens. I would like you to rate that name on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, it's 1,000%.
So
I
good.
love I call it my legion, right? My legion always stand up for me. They're always there when I need them. Always cheer me on, good or bad. Like they have genuine love for Omos. I love them back. So those are my legion. Those are my people. Those are people who, they put as we like to say, they put the battery in my backpack to go out there and kick people's asses. So,
I like
you
that. I
know,
like that. There's
but,
another name for them
but
too. I don't know. There's another name
yes.
for them too.
What's
I
that?
don't know if I can say it without getting
Oh
demonetized,
yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
just leave it
Okay,
there.
no, I know. But it's a very passionate legion. I think I might have the most passionate legion of fans on the internet.
You know what? I'm not gonna argue with you, my big man. Um, let's talk a little bit about the career, right? The rise has been so quick. I mean, here we have a match against a marquee guy in Seth Rollins, coming off of the match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Um, when you're sort of looking for inspirations to draw from in terms of your in-ring style, who are you looking at, past or present? Is it the big guys? Is it maybe some of the more mobile wrestlers?
A lot of big guys. I watch a lot of Wonder, a lot of Kane, a lot of Big Show, Mark. Then Kevin Nash, Diesel. Some Ramon. Let's try and mix up because even though they're all big guys, they all have various different styles. So I kind of go within that, find what fits me, what suits me the best.
I think sometimes fans can be a little impatient in terms of like prospect development. I mean, I'm not sure how much you pay attention, but like Dominic Mysterio is getting a lot of flack until he kind of found his groove, and now he's regularly one of the most entertaining parts of television. How have you managed the nerves of performing on such big stages so soon into your career?
If I really realize I've just got to go perform for me and perform, make sure that everything I'm doing is for me, the crowd. And also, like, as long as it's good, they're going to enjoy it. I see everything online on the internet. And sometimes, it's chucks of course sometimes, but at the end of the day, all you got to do is just go out there and hit perform and make them shut up. As simple as that. And I've taken that, I've taken that negative because I think I could consider myself the most hated guy among they call themselves the IWC on the internet, and I see a screenshot from various different journalists and interviews, and I see this motivation to go out there and perform.
The match
I
at Crown Jewel against Braun Strowman was one of my favorites that night. I mean, that was a sleeper hit as far as I'm concerned.
and man, I appreciate it, man. I remember all the doubters before that match, before we went out there and had the match that we did. Right? It's almost like sometimes you just gotta show what you are, who you are.
Mm.
You know,
Well, when
so
it comes to, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, two very different kind of performers, when it comes to chemistry, what kind of superstars do you find you sort of gel with the best? Is it the guys who can push you physically? Is it the people who sort of have a contrast of styles to you? What's kind of your favorite match to put together?
great performers. I think it doesn't matter whether it's whether big giant guy, was just out here like raging bulls, or just a guy who has a very unique style. But as long as they're great performers, I think all great performers, doesn't matter who's in the ring with them, they show up. Great performers perform regardless of who is in the ring.
They'll say that someone of your size is gifted an opportunity like this, but I would argue in a lot of ways that the industry has drifted towards smaller performers over time, right? We're seeing less Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warriors, more Sami Zayn's, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. What's the biggest challenge for you to overcome with your size in an industry that is sort of transitioning towards that sort of leaner, smaller athlete?
I mean, I believe there's a place for everything. Those guys, not to take anywhere anything from that. Those guys are the great, right? I think those guys are like shining in their era. But I also believe things are cyclical, right? Yes, you have the Seth Rollins and the Sami Zayns and Cody Rhodes, but let's not forget we have the Brocks, the Romans, the Drew McIntyres, the Sheamuses. You know, we still have big guys. I think it's just it's a mix. And I think we're going through the cycle of okay, one of the guys who can do all this amazing stuff and all these amazing things, and it's slowly progressing. So okay, now we want people who look like this guy. We always call it the airport test, right? Someone's walking to the airport and look at him and say, like he does something amazing. I don't know what, but he just looks it, right? And that goes with your question about the Ultimate Warriors and the Hulk Hogan's, and I think that is beginning to pick back up and go back in that type of range. And I think we're going to have going forward in the future, it's going to be a mixture of both types of athletes. The slender athletic guys versus the big athletic guys. And I think that is space for great storytelling.
Yeah, you need a variety of performances. That's what I love about this sport. Out of curiosity, Braun Strowman insists, he's told me that he can pull off a moonsault, but he's saving it for a very special occasion. First of all, do you believe him?
I mean, if the man believes it, he believes it. I can't deny what he believes in. I'm not what they can't or cannot do.
What is the craziest move that you can pull off that people haven't seen yet?
I want to say, but I feel like if I say it now, they're probably going to be expected at some point. So I'm just going to keep that to talk. Just know that I did train with some slender guys, and I'm pretty athletic individual for someone who's over 7'3" tall. You know what I'm saying? And I've done a lot of things that I've really checked myself that I could do. But in the grand scheme of things, if it doesn't make sense for me to do, right? Would I pull it out one day? Maybe, but we'll see.
Okay, maybe I'll ask you off camera, see if I can't get the inside scoop. Almost before. I don't know how people get sources because I don't do it, but I'm always amazed by the things people manage to pull out of behind the scenes. Before we wrap up on,
I have some stuff I can pull out that if I did it, I know it would set it all in a fire.
and
Well, I always have to fix myself.
And if it makes it around, you know who leaked that information, so you can always come.
Yeah, I know. And for me, it's just like okay, I think about this right. I've been blessed to have guys that mentors like the Undertaker and Mike Henry's, Undertaker's, Kevin Nash. Versus when I always think to myself, does in everything I do in this business, right? Because I'm young, but I think in that old school wrestling manner. Does it make sense for the story? Which is always the most important thing. And it makes sense for the story, what I'm trying to accomplish, that there's no point in me doing it. Yes, it's a good cachet and getting internet talking, yes. But if it doesn't do anything for the story, then there's no point. Then it's just a throwaway, right? And one thing with the fans is once you do something once, and so you can do it, then you have to top it. You have to top it every single time. So it's just, playing around what I want to do. I might do something one of these days, but I don't know. It all depends on how I feel.
Yeah, I like it. Well, when the time is right, we will see whatever the surprise
absolutely.
is.
The time has to be absolutely right.
Yeah. Before we wrap up on some lighter stuff, get to know you away from pro wrestling. I was sort of doing my research in advance of this, and for those who may not be aware, like WWE was actually very hesitant to sign you because of health complications. You've had 2 brain surgeries for a tumor. There was a risk of blindness or a heart attack, gigantism, a form of Cushing's disease, all things you've overcome. How has those health experiences and life experiences sort of motivated you to make the most of this amazing career that you found yourself on?
I mean, it's just putting me in a state where I truly appreciate everything that I'm given and everything that I do. Like honest, I have a passion for life and I understand that tomorrow is not promised. Because as an 18-year-old, I felt that necessarily for me where I didn't know what to do. I was taking everything day by day, and it gives me a huge perspective of like we always be appreciative and appreciate my loved ones around me and the moments that I experience and make sure I enjoy every single moment. And the fact that I'm even done the WrestleMania is starting with AJ Styles, winning in Tampa, acting titles, then breaking off into the main goal of my own or getting Bobby last year, and then the WrestleMania. I'll give you the biggest draw in pro wrestling today, which is Brock Lesnar. And starting off WrestleMania in LA, day two, I have accomplished something over the last few years. And for me, just, having the sense of gratitude and being grateful for these opportunities I've been able to and not take it for granted.
I love that. And it's a wonderful reminder to everyone. Thank you for sharing that. Omos, you've been so gracious with your time. I'd love to just talk about some non-WWE stuff. WWE is always around. Let's talk about some of the other passions first. What is the anime that kickstarted your obsession with the genre? Because I know you're getting Ricochet and other people on board as well.
It was I was living in Nigeria back when I was a kid in Nigeria, right? We had cable was pretty expensive, but we had the local channels like Channels TV. So. And what happened was it was regular TV, so they would have like adult programming for most of the day. And after like 3:30, once we got back from school, they'll have like a 2-hour block where we could watch cartoons. And I remember coming home in that 2-hour block, I would watch overseas they call it Samurai X, but in Japan they call it Ronin Kenshin. And it's the samurai in the Edo era who became a good guy with an X scar on his face. And now he's been hunted and for all his past transgressions. And that just made me fall in love with the genre. And that's what's really started my love for anime in Nigeria. That was the first anime show I ever watched back home in Nigeria.
I love it. What a good answer. I didn't know what we were gonna get, but I love that deep cut. If Omos and MVP have the best fashion sense in WWE, and I think they do, who has the worst fashion sense?
I think everybody dresses pretty well. I don't think there's an individual.
Do we like Seth's gear?
He tries, but he goes, he goes with his he goes with his very flamboyant personality. I'm not a fan of it, but for the sake of Backlash, we can go Seth.
All right, sounds good to me. Tell me unusual. It can be short, but like, what's a unusual place or situation where your height has caused you a problem?
Flying.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even comfortable for me, and I'm like 5'11".
Flying, headache, man. Flying. It's yes. It's I'm grateful that I'm able to have flying in a press class and all, but still sometimes it's just still kicks. It's still, my body still gets beating. It's flying.
Sorry to hear that. Very quickly, can I have your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling big men? The 4 greatest big men in pro wrestling, in your opinion.
4 greatest. Undertaker. Kane. Kevin Nash.
Okay.
Mark Henry.
I like it. That's an interesting list. Shout out to Kevin Nash and Mark Henry particularly. Last one, because I know I got to get you out of here, and this one's more for me because I'm a foodie till the day I die. What is one Nigerian meal or recipe that everyone should try?
Jollof rice.
Okay. Can you break it down real quick?
So jollof rice is like tomatoes are very huge in Nigeria, right? They produce tons and tons of it in Western Africa. And since you have an enormous surplus of tomatoes, they found how to make a rice dish with tomatoes in it, which is us pretty much rice cooked in a tomato-based sauce for a couple of hours under smoke, and it becomes very reddish due to the hue of the tomatoes, and it's very smoky and tangy and sweet at the same time. And such a delicacy. I always tell everybody, I don't care wherever you're from in the world, Nigeria has the best rice dish in the world. It doesn't compare. It can be really sweet, right? And a little bit of spicy. It can be really spicy. It can be really savory, however you like it. And it's just such a wonderful rice dish that goes with anything.
Go track it down, folks. Guys, I'm Omos. Thank you so much for your time. I'd like to leave you with the last word, so I'll do my part very quickly. Thanks to everyone for checking out the video. If you're still here, please subscribe, tap the notification bell, thumbs up. Give us your official prediction on Omos versus Seth Rollins. That takes place at WWE Backlash on May 6th in Puerto Rico. I'd also like to know, who do you think has the worst fashion sense? We'd love to hear from you guys. Omos, if there's anything you would like to let the people know, the floor is yours, my man.
Amen. On May 6th, make sure you tune in to Peacock and watch the Nigerian Giant Omar smash the freaking hell out of Seth freaking Rollins.